What if I told you you can have a fight stick, mixbox, and a hitbox all in a single controller? If you're a newcomer to fighting games, finding your first fight stick can be quite challenging. With numerous sticks and all-button controller options available, making a decision can feel overwhelming. Some players may be chasing that nostalgic arcade experience, seeking a fight stick that emulates the feel of an arcade. These fight sticks typically feature a lever or a joystick accompanied by 6 to 8 30mm action buttons. On the other hand, PC gamers who appreciate the tactile sensation of mechanical switches may prefer the mixbox layout. This layout combines the WASD movement keys with 30mm action buttons on the side, providing a more intuitive movement experience. Alternatively, you might have heard of the hitbox layout, which relies solely on buttons, commonly 24mm and a 30mm button for up. This style of controller is my personal preference and offers precise control and responsiveness. So that begs the question, what style suits you the best? Fight stick, mixbox, or hitbox? Well, what if I told you you can have a fight stick, mixbox, and a hitbox all in a single controller? Allow me to introduce the Fightbox M7, a revolutionary 3-in-1 fight stick that features a quick-release joystick, WASD keys, and 9 30mm action buttons. This controller combines the best elements of the 3 most popular controller styles, all into one versatile device. I'm calling this beast the Chimera. Hey man, it's your boy Neeto. It's great to be back. Hope you've been doing well. Today I have this really cool controller to share with you, sent to me by RetroArcadeCrafts and Fightbox. And before we start, I just want to let you know that this video is sponsored by Brook Gaming. More on them in a bit. The unboxing experience I had was simple and clean. It was packaged nicely inside this Fightbox branded cardboard box, and it also features some of the sticks they offer. This one in particular is, of course, the M7. They also show off the specific parts they use in the controller, which was a nice touch. Inside the box, you have the controller safely enclosed between some foam, some extra parts, and a 3-meter USB-A to USB-B cable. That's it, no instructions, which I actually don't mind at all. On first glance, I just want to say that I've never seen a controller quite like the M7, and it's very rare to see a joystick and a WASD layout all on the same panel. When I asked why Fightbox made the M7, they said, this version is based on market demand and customer feedback. After completing several customized products, we started to enhance our controllers. Thus, the M7 was born. The M7 features an all-metal enclosure and a matte black acrylic panel. It comes with a detachable Sanwa JLF joystick, 4 Cherry MX black switches, and 9 30mm Sanwa push buttons for the face and up button. Additionally, we have 24mm function button, 4 at the top and 2 on the side for start and select. By default, the M7 includes a red ball top and red keycaps. However, I personally swapped them out to give the controller a stealthier look, and it actually looks a lot more premium now, in my opinion. Just a heads up, the Cherry MX switches are non-hot swappable, so you wouldn't be able to swap them out unless you know how to solder. One thing I should also note is that there was a mistake on my unit. It came with a black up button instead of a red one, which I'm not mad about at all. If you're interested in this specific colorway, make sure to inform them when placing your order. The M7 also comes with a convenient rubber cap for covering the joystick when detached. This way, it becomes safer to store in a backpack. So before we move forward, I just want to talk about how sick this quick release joystick is. Look at that. So this technology has been out since 2016, with FreakMod's Link being the first to introduce it. The main purpose is to protect the joystick from damage and wear when putting it in a bag. For those of you who have put a fight stick in a backpack, you know exactly what I'm saying. I'm sure some of y'all didn't know this existed, so here's a little mini tutorial on how it works. First, take the dust cover and place it over the hole where the joystick goes. Next, get your joystick and pull up on the spring-loaded metal base. Then, place it vertically over the joystick area and let go of the metal base. If done correctly, the joystick will stay in place. When removing, all you gotta do is pull up on that metal base and remove the joystick and dust cover. Done and dusted. Pop the rubber cap into the hole and you're good to go. So I store the joystick inside this small drawstring bag when I'm not using it. But if you're really cool, you get one of these, the Sanwa Denshi keychain ring. I need one of those. Setting up is extremely easy. Just take the included 3-meter USB cable and plug one end into your controller and the other end into the console of your choice. Please note that the 3 lights on the top left will light up depending on what player you are, whether it's P1, P2, or P3. Since we got the PS5 version using the Brook P5 Mini, it's also compatible with all other PlayStation systems. Speaking of Brook, let's talk about the sponsor of today's video, Brook Gaming.
Are you tired of using your PlayStation controller on your PlayStation? Do you hate it when you invite over a friend and he brings a controller for a system you don't have? Introducing Brook Gaming's wide variety of controller adapters, the best solution to use your favorite controller on your favorite console. Use an Xbox controller on a Nintendo Switch. Use a Nintendo Switch Pro controller on a PlayStation. Use a PS5 controller on a PS1. With their sleek and compact design, you can take Brook Gaming's controller adapters anywhere you go. No, that's not a memory card, silly. It's the Brook Wingman PS2. Use any controller on any system using Brook Gaming's wide variety of controller adapters. Head over to brookaccessory.com and start playing games the way you want to play them. Thanks again to Brook Gaming for sponsoring this video. Now, back to the M7.
RetroArcadeCrafts is a US-based company specializing in tabletop and retro arcade console, as well as Fightstick. They supply every Fightbox controller, including the very popular B1 and B1 Mini. They're reliable and provide fast and free shipping. While mainly shipping from China, some products do ship from their US location. In terms of customization, Fightbox can provide all sorts of customization to suit your needs, including panel artwork, button colors, stick color, button layout, and even chip-level programming development. And if the option isn't shown on their website, feel free to shoot them an email or live chat with them. Speaking of customization, I just wanted to touch on a few things I did to make the M7 my own. First, I swapped the red ball top for a black one. Then, instead of the red keycaps, I opted to use some keyboard arrow keys and a shift button for up. A longer up button actually makes it so your index finger doesn't travel as much. It's only an inch difference, but I found it way more comfortable to use this way. As opposed to pressing up with your middle finger, it makes more sense for me to use your index. It's more of a personal preference thing, but I figured you should know. Right now, I'm a big fan of the overall look. I'm not sure if I'll add any stickers or anything, but I might try swapping out the Sanwa buttons, maybe. The M7 sports Cherry MX black switches and genuine Sanwa buttons. So I've actually never tried black switches until now, but they're a linear switch with a high actuation force, meaning they feel just a touch heavier compared to Cherry MX reds because the spring is stiffer. Here's a sound test comparison. And here's an overall sound test of the joystick, the WASD keys, the Sanwa buttons, and the function buttons. One thing you'll notice is the side and the top buttons are significantly clickier than the face buttons, but they do feel good and responsive. I do have one gripe with the function buttons, which I'll get to in the pros and cons section. The M7 clocks in at just under 2 kg. I'm glad it's not super light, otherwise it'd feel really cheap. It's also not super heavy, making it a lot more convenient to travel with, unlike someone. It measures at 40 by 22 centimeters and 4.5 centimeters for height. I'm a big fan of the size of the M7. It sits on my desk like it belongs there, and it doesn't sit that high during lap play. I'm also impressed by the spacing between each section of the controller. I figured it'd be too wide, but it feels really comfortable to play on. There's a generous amount of wrist space as well, allowing them to rest cozy on the case while you're playing. For portability, I definitely say this is a backpack or side bag controller. SOCD. One of y'all is just gonna comment SOCD's nuts. I know it. So let's talk about SOCD for a quick second. I'm happy to report that out of the box, the M7 has the default SOCD, meaning left plus right equals neutral and down plus up equals up. However, for Capcom Pro Tour legality, you can also upgrade the firmware via Brook's website. You could choose from standard or tournament SOCD, which means down plus up equals neutral. It's really up to you what setting you prefer and what games you plan on playing. We're almost there, bro. Pros and cons. Before I get into the pros, I just want to mention a few cons and opportunities that Fightbox can improve on. Number one issue I have, which is like the smallest thing, is the position of the top function buttons. When I'm practicing combos, I prefer to have easy access to the position reset button. However, out of the box, the button is located on the far left. This means I would either have to swing my left arm around the controller or reach over with my right arm just to press the button. Not gonna lie, it can be a bit irritating, especially when you have the joystick installed, and it can disrupt the flow of training. I know it might seem a bit nitpicky, and it's a quick fix with remapping, but I would have much rather preferred 4 function buttons on the right side of the controller and then 2 on the top right. It's by no means a major issue at all, and I'm pretty sure you can request for this customization when you place an order. Number 2, this one's a bit personal, but I have sweaty hands. And you see my hands glisten right now? So because I have sweaty hands and the panel is made of this matte black acrylic, it definitely leaves some sweat marks after I use it. There's no like real way around this. Do I take sweat pills or something? It's just something I noticed. Is that technically a con? I don't know. It's just the material and I got sweaty hands. It just, you know what I'm saying? Over time, I think because it's matte black too, it might be prone to micro scratches maybe, but like, I don't know. It's just something that I wanted to point out. Now you know I have sweaty hands. Number 3, I'm actually a fan of the Cherry MX Black switches, but in the future, I would love to see a hot swappable version. This would cater to a niche market of keyboard enthusiasts, and the ability to customize the switches adds a lot more personality to the controller. This isn't a drawback though, it's rather something I'd hope to see in the future. And number 4, last con, which isn't really a con, but it's more of a me thing. I don't really like the lights on the top left. They're kind of unnecessary. Yeah, I'd be totally happy without them. Like, they do provide a little bit of utility, but they're kind of in your face, and I would have preferred it to be a lot more subtle. You know what I mean? Like that, or like an option to dim it down, or like just keep them turned off. And now let's talk about the pros and my personal experience when using the M7. Number 1, it is the perfect size and weight. The dimensions, it's exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to a fight stick. It fits on my lap, it fits on the desk. It's not too heavy, it's beautiful. And I just wanted that to be my number 1 pro. Pro number 2, me primarily being a hitbox player, I now have the option to use a joystick whenever I want without having to swap out my controller. Like, I own another fight stick, but I don't have to now. You might think it's a gimmick, but it's actually very functional. The fact that you can pop it in whenever you want, that's sick. Detachable joystick, whenever you feel like. Sometimes I might want to play a Shoto character. It just feels better on a fight stick when you know what I'm saying? The detachable joystick is the pro. Pro number 3, Sanwa Denshi buttons are the best feeling buttons for fight sticks, period. And I don't want any argument. Oh, I like trigger finger. No, Sanwa Denshi buttons, they're the best ever. And one thing I learned just the other day is they have an average lifespan of 10 million presses. 10 million. My children's children are going to be able to use this fight stick. 10 million presses. Can somebody calculate what the average button press is for a round and then times that by the number of matches they've played and then calculate to me how many years that is, okay? And also because they're 30mm buttons, you're less susceptible to misinput. Each press feels intentional, and I promise you'll have an amazing time playing on Sanwa. Those of you who play on Sanwas know exactly what I'm saying. Last pro number 4 is the WASD keys alongside my little shift button upgrade. Feels fantastic. They're light, snappy, is smooth. Not gonna lie, I was a bit skeptical when it comes to the weight transition between the Cherry MX Blacks and the Sanwas. So like as a hitbox player, I would be doing the 3 directions with the Cherry MX Blacks, and then the one, I use my thumb, left thumb, for the up button. I didn't really notice like a harsh weight transition, if that makes sense. You could definitely tell the difference if they were like Cherry MX Blues with like the click and then the Sanwa, but the switches alongside the Sanwas, they don't feel awkward at all. I would consider that a pro, the fact that it feels good to play on. So what's the damage? We made it this far. What's the damage, bro? So there's 6 versions of the Fightbox M7 to choose from. I'll put them up on screen here. Keep in mind the prices are in USD and include free shipping.
So editing Neeto here, I have some news. So apparently from November 12, Microsoft will no longer allow unauthorized third-party accessories with its Xbox consoles. Yeah, and you know what that means, bro. That's kind of huge, not gonna lie. But Brook did release a statement, and they said, the affected products are the Wingman XB2 converter, XB Fighting Board, Universal Fighting Board, Fusion, Resolution 1, Resolution 2, and they're fully committed to developing a solution in the future. And this is actually kind of wild, but Brook did release a statement. Hopefully in the future, all y'all fighting gamers who play on Xbox will be able to enjoy your fight sticks again. I don't know if PC is affected by this either. That's like, it's kind of nuts, right? So just want to let you know that that happened. Anyways, back to the video.
The version I have here is the PS5 version using Brook's new P5 mini board, and it's compatible with PS5, PS4, PS3, Switch, and PC. This one's gonna cost you $309, but if you want more compatibility for $40 more, you can get the Fusion version. Personally, I'm either gonna be playing on PS5 or PC, so this version works best for me. Prices range from $169.99 for the PC version and $349.99 for the Fusion version, which I think is extremely competitive. As far as I know, for official sticks, you have the Hori Alpha, which is $200, and the Victrix, which is $600. And Razer just released that Kitsune hitbox for $300. But let me ask you this, do these official controllers have what the M7 has? No. Think about it this way, the M7 is 3 controllers in one. You have a fight stick, a hitbox, and a mixbox, all in the same controller, and it works on PS5. You're getting the value of 3 controllers in one controller. That's insane. Crazy. So the M7 is by no means a cheap fight stick. $309 is still a lot considering, but premium parts will warrant premium prices. Like you're getting the Sanwas, you're getting the Cherry MX, you're getting a full metal enclosure with a matte black acrylic top. That's slick. And the detachable joystick, dude. So let's do some gamer math. When you think about it, $309 or $349, how many days in a year? 365. You use it every single day for a year, it's like $1 a day. You make your money back. It's like basically free after a year of playing it when you think about it. Gamer maths. Gamer math. And that brings us to the last question. Who is this controller for? Who is this controller for? I got significantly less chill the longer I've been doing this script, I'm telling you. So who is this for and who should buy it? So if you made it this far, you've probably already made your decision on whether or not the M7 is for you. But if you want some expert advice from your boy, I got you. Here's who I think the M7 is for. I'm gonna paint you a picture. So number 1, you just got into fighting games and you can't decide which fight stick to buy, and you're also interested in all button controllers. Well, M7 covers you on all fronts, so you don't even have to think about it. You get the benefit of having a fight stick, mixbox, and a hitbox all in one control. It's a perfect solution for a first purchase. Number 2, you already own a fight stick or a mixbox or a hitbox and want to dive into a different controller style without sacrificing familiar feel. It's definitely a controller for the curious. If you're like me and you actually prefer playing Shoto characters on a stick, the M7 is a great option if you want to easily swap between characters and play styles without changing your controller entirely. Also, doing full circles on a joystick feels 10 times better than on a hitbox. Trust me. I don't even play Zangief. And number 3, the M7 is an excellent option for a player too. So let's say you invite over a friend and they're new to fighting games and they don't even own a fight stick, hand them the M7 and they can decide what playstyle suits them the best. They might be like, oh shit, look at all these buttons. What do I do? But you give them a controller and they're like, oh, maybe I want to do that. Oh, maybe I want to do that. perfect player 2 controller. Overall, if you're in the market for a robust fight stick that can accommodate different playstyles seamlessly, I'd say the Fightbox M7 is a solid purchase. Final thoughts. And so I've had the Fightbox M7 for about a month now, and I'm really impressed. Not only do you have excellent feeling buttons with the Sanwas, you also have quick access to the Sanwa joystick whenever you want. I still can't get over that it's detachable. A detachable joystick. On top of that, the WASD keys feel really nice, and if you're playing on hitbox mode, the directions and the up button feels great. Aside from the top function button placement, I'm a huge fan of the overall design and heft. I'm definitely handing this over to some of my friends if they ever want to come over and try out some fighting games. Be sure to check out Retro Arcade Crafts and Fightbox if you want to pick one of these up. And big thank you once again to Brook Gaming for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're doing well. Go play some fighting games.
Yeah.